Clack of the Geek here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be doing the sort of companion video to my 5 things I didn't like about Series 12 video, and I'm doing the flip side of that today, the 5 things I did like about Series 12. Now this was a bit easy because on the whole I quite enjoyed Series 12. It definitely learnt from the mistakes of Series 11, and you'll see that in some of my points that I'm going to discuss. So, let's get to it. So the first point is the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. Now, I don't think that Jodie Whittaker is an outstanding Doctor. She's definitely lower down on my ranking in terms of the Doctors. But I'll say this, she was far better in this series than she was in Series 11. Now, there are definitely traits of her in Series 11, you know. In practice, she was very techno-babbly, wouldn't really shut up. There was a couple of moments in Feast of the Judoon which stood out as being a bit cringy. And then the ending speech in Orphan 55 was just terrible. But those are those are more like few and far between. There were plenty of moments in this series where I thought she definitely improved. That her scenes with the Master in Spyfall Part 2 were fantastic. Her reaction to Gallifrey being destroyed was fantastic as well. Her and Nikola Tesla's sort of chemistry in the Tesla episode was really endearing to watch. And then episodes like Can You Hear Me and The Haunting of Villa Diodati, some of her scenes where she sort of gets more angry, you know, takes charge. It's like, yes, this is the Doctor that I want to see. I'm definitely seeing 7th Doctor vibes within Jodie. I think, obviously, you know, they were both very annoying and silly in their first season. But then as their era progressed, they got a bit more darker and more mysterious and more sort of morally ambiguous. You know, you didn't exactly know where they stood. Graham and Yaz as companions. Now, as you know, Ryan, I don't think was a good companion. I put him on my 5 things I didn't like. But Graham and Yaz were very good in this series. Graham, I mean, he's just so lovable. He's so endearing. And despite completing his character arc of getting over Grace, he's still fun and engaging to watch, you know, giving great bits of comedy and some really great words of wisdom, especially in Praxeus. There was a really nice scene with him giving some words of wisdom. And then Yaz was a far cry from the Yaz we had from Series 11. Yaz was actually given stuff to do. You know, in Spyfall, she had quite a prominent role within the TARDIS team. In Can You Hear Me, her backstory was explored very well. And it was brilliant, you know, her relationship with her sister. You know, the backstory of running away as a teenager. It's a shame that we didn't get that in Series 11 when it's this good. It's clearly a sign of learning from past mistakes, so I've got to commend them for that. So the next thing I want to talk about is villains. Now, if you look at Series 11's Rogues Gallery, it's just naff, right? You got a space racist, demonic rags, a Donald Trump knockoff, the Pating, and a frog in the chair. That's the best you've got? Well, clearly not, because this season had memorable and threatening villains. We had some returning villains with the Judoon, an unexpected but welcome addition, because I love the Judoon. They're just a simple but fun idea. We had a new Master with Sacha Dhawan, who gives such a brilliant performance. He's so sort of mad and off the wall like John Sim, but he's got quite a good gravitas, and he's like quite suave as well. And his chemistry with Jodie is a really good Doctor-Master pairing, similar to Pertwee and Delgado's chemistry, or Peter Capaldi and Michelle Gomez's chemistry. I think it's really good. And then you get the lone Cyberman, who is just fantastic. His design, who is like battered and damaged, his voice, his dialogue, his actions, it's honestly chilling. The Haunting of Villa Diodati is, except for World Enough and Time, probably my favourite Cyberman story of the new series. Although I do really like Rise of the Cybermen though. But yeah, he's such a good villain. And then the new villains in this series were actually really good. I thought the Kasavan was such a whimsical and interesting idea, but with them literally being literal, like, just portals to another dimension. I thought Daniel Barton was a very good villain. Not necessarily the most fleshed out, but he was quite charming and charismatic. So I sort of did like him. Some of the sort of collective villains, so like the Dregs and the birds from Praxeus, I thought were quite good, quite creepy and quite menacing. And then we have Zelen from Can You Hear Me, who I thought was an incredible villain. I love sort of godlike villains. They're just so fascinating, and they're sort of on the same pedigree as the Doctor, so it feels like it's more of a challenge, you know. So, and he's just such a great villain. The performance, the fingers, the look, his his motives, they're just so interesting. It's just, oh, that's one of the reasons why I love Can You Hear Me. It was just such an interesting villain. I found him so engaging. So yeah, you look at Series 12's Rogues Gallery, very good. You look at Series 11's, it pales in comparison. So Chibnall can do good villains. You just need to put more effort in. So at number 4, I've got the story arc. Now you might be a bit surprised that I've put this on here, because in my top 5 things I didn't like, I mentioned the reveal of the Timeless Child. Note that I said the reveal, not the whole Timeless Child arc, because throughout the series, I was so invested in this arc. But yeah, I was just so excited to get a series arc back, because it felt like it was encouraging you to keep on watching, because if you didn't, you might miss out on some of the plot elements. I also think as an arc, it's not only quite interesting to explore more Gallifreyan mythology, it's also structured quite well, I think. You know, in Spyfall, you get the Master destroying Gallifrey, and he says it's because of the Timeless Child. In Orphan 55, you see the Doctor sort of, you know, she's sort of a bit bitter about it, and you see the repercussions of what she's seen. In the Judoon story, you get the Ruth Doctor, and sort of the other Gallifreyans, you know, there's more mystery about, okay, what's going on here. In Can You Hear Me, more of, when the Doctor's having that nightmare, you see more of that vision of the little girl. And then you get to the Timeless Children. Wait, hold on. In Ascension of the Cybermen, you get Brendan, which adds another layer of mystery. And then you get to the Timeless Children, where it's mostly resolved. There's a few loose threads, but perhaps, as I said, Chibnall might be playing the long game. And the final point I want to talk about is the production value. So that talks about, like, the cinematography, the visuals, the music, etc. So obviously this new era has had new cameras, new aspect ratio, new visual effects company, and it makes the series look so cinematic. Honestly, Spyfall feels like a full-on movie. The music was so memorable. All the action sequences in the first part were fantastic. War-torn Paris in the second half looks brilliant. Destroy Gallifrey, it was such a treat to see that. The Tranquility Spar in Orphan 55 was so... It looked beautiful. The Ruth Doctor's TARDIS console room was such a treat for the fans. The amount of locations that we visit in Praxis give it a very grand scale. Pretty much all of Can You Hear Me looks incredible. From like the space station, the planets, Zellin effects, it's all brilliant. The Haunting of Villa Diodati with its direction makes it so eerie and scary. And then the finale just so action packed with all the action sequences. It's just so epic. And then the costume designs for the different monsters and villains, like the Judoon, they look so much better. The gas mask people in Praxis, the Skithra, they all look just brilliant. It makes it feel so cinematic. So that was my list of the 5 things I liked about Series 12. What did you like about Series 12 in the comments? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And this is Clack of the Geek.